So what's up, everybody? Today's a big day. It was how long ago exactly we moved here?
Exactly 1 year today.
Exactly 1 year ago today. We left Southern California and moved out here to East Texas. Well, I'm actually supposed to say Northeast Texas because I got yelled at by somebody that said, "Oh no, we're Northeast Texans." Okay, Northeast Texas. It was also a year ago that we started this YouTube journey with you guys, and it started with this clip. Hey Nicole.
Hey.
Where are we going?
To buy a house.
Hey Google. Get directions home.
The best way to get home by car is via I-10 East and I-20 East, and will take about 21 hours and 37 minutes in light traffic.
We actually left California on March 1st, but we stopped off in El Paso and then we stopped off in just in town here, Sulphur Springs, just because we got in late and didn't want to come straight to the house and we didn't have any of our stuff here. Guess where we're going?
Where?
To our new house. Key and all. You ready?
Yep.
We made it to Texas.
We're here.
It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,600 square foot monster, and it sits on 30 acres. Instead of us telling you about it, let's show it to you. The first video that we put up was a tour of the farm and the house, and it has changed quite a bit since then. Take a look. Say hi, Nicole.
Hi.
What's in here, Nicole?
We're still figuring it out. This is the kitchen.
The kitchen. Check this thing out. It's gigantic. Look at that. We got the up lights, we got the down lights.
Ryan has decided this is our workout room.
I have?
Yep.
There we go. Look, huge. This is one of the bedrooms. Okay, go to the next one.
This will be our room.
It'll be the master bedroom. I think we're gonna use this one as the master, even though the old owners didn't use it as the master, but it's pretty big. Here's the house. There's the long driveway. And we're right actually on the not on the interstate, we're right on the highway, which is awesome. But far enough off of it to where we can't hear anybody. These trees right here, which are pretty cool, they're pecan trees. There's 15 of them around the property, so in the fall and stuff, we'll be able to get fresh pecans. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. Even the shadowy places over there. Here's one of the coolest places on the property, our barn. Check it out. We have some work to do, obviously, in it to get it back up to snuff, but it's pretty awesome. There's a lot we can do with it. One pond, and here's pond number 2. It just keeps going and going and going and going. So as we were traveling, we were hearing, rumblings about, stuff getting maybe a little bit crazy. And once we got here, COVID-19 hit.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
Exactly. It was a day after the shutdown. The shutdown happened a day after the movers got here, and we just barely got our stuff. Does anyone know how hard it is to move 1,000 miles and try and get settled in all while the world's ending? So we got here on March 3rd, but that was just us. We were missing a few, I don't know if you want to call them people, but very important family members. And that is, there's Callie and Jenny. and Harley, Hercules, and of course Pepper. So we left them back in California because we figured the world would be normal and we can just go back and get them real easily, right? I mean, it wasn't that, it shouldn't have been that hard, but it actually ended up being pretty hard. So the shutdown hit and we didn't know if, the flights were gonna get changed or whatever, or the airports were even gonna be open. So, but we were able to fly back, and the way we had to fly back was a little bit funny because, again, we didn't know what this was.
Traveling in 2020. Look, what do you think? Airport's dead. Literally. Nobody here.
That's Callie. We got two of them here. And here's Jenny. So once we got back with the dogs, with at least Jenny and Callie, we started making a couple little improvements and repairs. What was the first thing that we did?
Painting this room this color.
Exactly. Looking good. So I'm gonna go eat, and I expect this to be done by the time I get back. After being here about a month, we're trying to settle in, trying to stock up on toilet paper, trying to just survive, but also the grass started growing up a little bit, and we figured we needed to do something about that. And you know what we did?
Cows.
So yesterday, we did kind of a thing. What did we do?
Cows.
We got cows. Here they are. We got, yes, you're talking to everybody, huh? Say hi. We got 3 very pretty longhorn heifers. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here. Hey. So we got the cows settled. Yoli, Betty, and Daphne, we're happy with them. We had them in the corrals. We're getting to know them a little bit. No experience with cows previously. And I wanted to start moving them every day, doing the whole rotational grazing, mob grazing, whatever you want to call it. And I figured, okay, this should be pretty easy because everybody that I see, Greg Judy, Joel Southon, doing it, pretty simple. So I tried to move them out to pasture. Nicole, how did that go?
Like this.
All right, Nicole, you ready to do this?
Wish us luck.
Either this goes really good and Nicole's just the camera woman, or it goes okay and she'll be my therapist, or it goes really, really bad and she'll end up being the nurse. Let's find out. Now, the virus started getting worse, the shutdown started happening worse and worse, and then we started hearing about food shortages. I wanted to take this really slow, not get too overwhelmed with animals and stuff, but I felt like we needed to do something because all this food shortage, we didn't know what was gonna happen, and we decided to get meat chickens a little bit sooner than we were expecting, because we wanted to have some sort of food security. And everything that I read in the books, everything that I was learning from the past year, I felt like, okay, I might have to do this because we might not be getting food. I don't know what's going on in the supermarkets. It was kind of scary. And I said, we gotta make a move. And the move that we did is we got 100 meat chickens. Guess where I just came back from? We got baby chicks. All right, so we just got back from the hatchery. Now we're gonna put these little chickies in the brooder. Should be cool. Okay, this is gonna be number 1 and number 104. Here, check them out. They actually look pretty healthy already. So we kept the chickens in the brooder for 3 weeks and grew them up, got them feathered out, and now it's time to move them out to pasture.
And I had to slap together a Joel Salatin style chicken tractor. Made it a little bit different, but I think it turned out okay, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really proud of you. Turned out really good.
It was okay. I made it a little bit too heavy. I might make some adjustments now going forward if we're gonna do this again. Just make them a little bit lighter. But this is how we built the chicken tractor.
We made it back from town and I finished the first chicken tractor. As you can see, got a lid for it right there. Trying to decide if I want to put it on hinges. 8x8, and it is pretty heavy, which I knew going in because I used 2x4s when everybody told me not to, but you know what? I'm trying something. I made it a little bit smaller than the 10x8 that Joel Salatin does, and I like it.
I remember the day that we moved the chickens out, the chickens were actually escaping the brooder, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to put them out tonight because it was gonna drizzle, you know, and you don't want to put the chickens out when it's gonna rain real hard because that doesn't set up a good that doesn't put them in a good position to survive out on pasture. But after I got done moving the chicken tractors into place and I saw 1 or 2 chicks jumping outside the brooder, I went, okay, it's time for them to move. It's time for them to get out to pasture because they just hopped up on I used pine shavings as the brooder, and I used pine shaving bags as the brooder, and they just hopped up and they were out, and I went, okay, time to go.
You're a big guy. Okay. I think I'm gonna dip their beak in. So you know where the water is. There you go. This is the first 20. There's going to be 32 more in here because we have 104 and 52 in there. So here we go.
Once they were out on pasture, I started moving them every day, just the 8 feet that the chicken tractor was, and it ended up turning out really well for us because we only lost, out of 104 chickens, we ordered 100, but they gave a little bit extra, you know, to account for loss. We only lost 1. While we had our chickens going, it's springtime and we still had our 3 cows, and that they were not keeping up with the grass. Why? Because 3 cows on 30 acres, that math just doesn't work. So we added 2 more.
So we did a thing, and they're coming at us right now. Let's take a look. Check them out. Hey ladies. Hey. This is the closest that you've gotten to me. No. Oh yeah. Huh, you guys are pretty, aren't you? That one right there is named Ellie, after Nicole's grandma on her mom's side, whose name is, what is it, Nicole?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. And right there, this is Rose, who is Nicole's grandma on her dad's side.
Again, it was springtime and the grass was getting way ahead of us because, again, 5 cows-ish. And our east pasture, the grass was up, you know, 3-4 feet. I had to do something about it. I didn't want it to get all woody. I wanted to maintain the pasture. And I just couldn't get the cows there, and even if I did, they weren't gonna make too much of an impact. So we decided to get the pasture hayed. And this was a big point in the video. This was the first time I actually started wearing a cowboy hat in all the videos. Now I just grabbed the cowboy hat because my other hat was dirty at the time, but realized something about a cowboy hat that's pretty cool. 1, keeps your head super cool. 2, it acts like an umbrella so I can walk around in the rain, and you know, I don't have water dripping off of me all over the place and it's not getting in my face. It works really well. And then thirdly, if it starts raining really hard and I have the camera out, this acts like a cover for the camera and I don't have to go running back in. Multi-use, I love this thing, by the way, and I think I'm gonna keep doing it because, you know, the other hats that we had, they're black, you know, they're like the one Nicole was wearing, and it's just, I know why people wear a cowboy hat. It's very useful.
New hat, by the way. My normal hat is currently getting cleaned right now, so decided to go with the cowboy hat. Kind of cool, you know. We're out in Texas. I got cows. Cowboy hat day.
We ended up getting 35.5 hay bales off of our 16 acres. They didn't get all of it because some of it was grown up in brush or whatever. So that was pretty good. Some people were telling me, hey, Ryan, you know what? You're gonna need more hay. You're gonna need more hay, especially if you're gonna be getting more cows. You can see in the video right here. I didn't think so. And now we're almost out of winter, and I think I'm being proven right.
We had this is about a 16-acre field. We had this made into hay. All right, so what's the plan for this hay? This hay is to feed our girls through winter time. And it's said around here you need about 5 bales of hay per cow each winter. But since I'm rotationally grazing them and moving them every couple days, if not every day, I think we should be okay. I don't think we'll need 5 bales of hay per cow, but I'm gonna be conservative for the first year and see what they need.
Now earlier I talked about having the 5 dogs. Right now, at this point, last year, only 2 of them were out here, and that's Callie here and Jenny. Harley, Hercules, and Pepper were still back in California. My dad's watching them. You know, with the virus going on, made it kind of hard to travel, so the plan was for me to go right back and pick them up and get them out here. Well, I had to wait. It was a little over, it was a couple months actually before I could get them out here, and kind of missed them. But I flew back to California, and me and my dad loaded them up in our Suburban and drove 24 hours straight, and we made it back here.
Hey everyone, it's been a bit of a week. You guys can see this is someone that you might be familiar with if you've been around long enough, been subscribed long enough, and this guy here too. Now, I'll tell you a story with these two monsters. Okay.
Nicole actually held down the fort for us. She fed the chickens and she watered the cows and just made sure everything was cool. She did a really good job at it.
But very, 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 very good job. Thank you very, very, very much for keeping them all alive. The cows over there did perfectly. See, we're mowing behind them because they just can't keep up with it. But chicken's good, doggy's good, cow's good. Nicole happy. That's the main thing.
But my dad stayed out here for about a week, and he discovered something that was kind of funny. He discovered that our longhorns love pecan tree leaves. Now we're up to 5 cows, and we're wanting to expand, we're wanting to get more. But being able to move them around every day, it gets kind of hard if you're having to go and make a complete square every day. Okay, they get this, and this area. And it just wasn't efficient for me. And I decided that we're going to do something a little bit different. And this is inspired a cross between 2 people. One, Justin Rhodes' old system. He since took it down. And then also, I saw a video back a couple years ago about Joel Salatin having permanent paddocks for his pigs and how he cross fences them and everything. I said, you know what? I think this might work for cows. So we ended up building our lane.
That's 9, and already working up a sweat. Pretty straight, not perfect, but doesn't have to be because we're using the poly wire. Hey, out there, the yellow thing, that's where I stop, and that's the post driver.
So once the lane was built, it was great, but it was missing one thing. It was missing water. Now, how could we get water from our well, or from our pond even, to the cows where, they might be a couple 100 feet from water? That's when we put in our water line, and between the lane and the water line, that is basically the lifeline of this farm now. It's been great, and it's the #1 thing that I would recommend anybody doing if they want to start their own operation. Put in a lane, putting water line right underneath it, and you know what? Voila, you are set up, you are good. You don't have to worry about, you know, hauling water in buckets, because that's what I was doing.
Bingo. Should work perfectly.
So as we're getting our farm set up, we're also having the chickens, and it came time for them to go to freezer camp. We took them to the processor, and again, we only lost 1 out of 104. I think that is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, sometimes I've heard people losing 30-40%, you know, in their first batch, because it's just, with the meat chickens, the Cornish cross, they're very temperamental.
So yesterday morning, we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, went and took care of the cows right away, got them water, gave them a big enough paddock to where they can, that I didn't have to move them yesterday. And we came out here with the chickens and we loaded them up, and they went off to the processor.
When we got them back from the processor, they averaged 3.8 pounds, a little bit smaller than I would like. I would like between, you know, 4 and maybe 4.5, 5 pounds average for the bird. Some of them were bigger, some of them were smaller. I think the smallest one was like 2.7 pounds. The biggest one was like 5 point, you know, almost 6, somewhere in there. But in that, I learned a lot. One, I need to keep giving them grit. I think if I would have kept giving them grit the entire time, I thought you only give them grit in the brooder. You give them grit the entire time, they'll be able to metabolize the food better, and they'll be able to put on more weight because they'll be able to chew it up faster. And then secondly, I was giving them, you know, a ration of feed. I think next year, instead of soaking the feed, I'm gonna go get one of the big feeders and just let them have at it for as long as they like, rather than soaking the feed and throwing it out there. Is it better to soak it? Is it not better to soak it? I think it's better to have it in front of them all the time. When we soak the feed, it's not like when we soak the feed, we only want to give them what's available for that day, and it's kind of a guess, especially with, you know, as they're growing, because one day to the next they can be demanding a lot more. So at this point we have 5 cows, and a couple months previous I put a deposit for 2 other ones, but they were still, you know, they're still on their mamas, they needed to be weaned, and now it was time for them to come to our farm. And what do we name them?
Sheep and Dolly.
They are our Charolais Angus crosses. A little bit different, doing some experimenting and see where these go. Here, meet Sheep and Dolly.
We are here near the barn inside the corrals. And what does that mean? You know?
Cows.
We got more cows. We got two more heifers. Now, a little bit different today because they're not longhorns. And we have 5 longhorns, but we're doing a little bit of experimenting. What we have here are 2 Charolais Angus crosses, and they look pretty good. We'll show them to you right now. Someone decided to get comfy. Someone's not all that scared of me. She wouldn't be laying down. Look, she's eating. She's laying down. I think they'll settle in just fine.
Alright, so 2020 we can all agree was kind of a crappy year. It was, you know, across the board, everybody had a pretty tough year. Not for me. Why? It was probably the best year of my life because I got to do this.
So yesterday, I had to drive all the way down to Tyler to go pick this up. Now, story behind this. I ordered this over 6 months ago now, and with all this, you know, you heard about this virus thing going on. It took a little bit of time to get here because everything shut down, stores closed, had to hit people up on Facebook that, you know, ran the store kind of thing. Anyways, just a bunch of hoops to jump through. So today, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ask Nicole to marry me. And talked to her dad yesterday, got the go ahead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like trick Nicole into thinking that we're gonna do like a 5-month farm update video or something, because that's how long we've been here, so pretty cool. And then I'm gonna trick her and I'm gonna do it. So wish me luck. So what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel.
Hi.
We're out here in front of our house on a beautiful East Texas Sunday, was it afternoon?
Yes.
You want to call it that? Yeah. So Nicole here thinks that we're doing a 5-month update video, but that's really not what we're doing. I have a little surprise for her, and that's this. Hang on.
I like this.
Nicole, you make me the happiest person in the whole wide world. You've come on this journey with me, moving 1,000 miles away from home. We're making our little slice of heaven here, and I love you more than anybody in the world. So with that, will you marry me? Yeah?
So funny story, it actually worked out kind of well. See, Tanner down at Fuller Life, Texas, he lives pretty close to us. So he was gone for a couple days, and he asked me to just go feed the animals, check on everything. So I would drive down there for 3 days, close by. But on the third day, I came up with a little story. So I went, took care of everything, called Nicole up, said, hey, this is a story I did to get the ring, okay? Because it's down in Tyler, it's a little bit farther away. Okay, so I said, Nicole, one of Tanner's cows got its leg wrapped up in the hose or something, and when it tried to move, it snapped the hydrant off, and next thing you know, water is spewing everywhere. So I had to run to Lowe's to get a couple parts. Well, I don't think Nicole believed me too much, because I was gone for like 3.5, 4, probably 4.5 hours at Lowe's. I was saying, oh, I had to go back and forth, get different parts. And did you believe me?
Worst thing to do is tell Nicole an animal's in trouble. I was so worried.
She didn't believe me.
Nope.
What she really did was call BS, and that's literally what this next character drops out of his backside. Meet Jordan.
Today's a big day here at Freedom Foods Farm, because you know what we did? We got our first Texas Longhorn bull. Let's check him out. All right, here he is. He's still, I don't want to get too close. Bulls kind of make me a little bit nervous, even when as young as him. But here, you can see him. He's over there. He's kind of a little guy right now, but he'll grow up. He's about 5 to 6 months old, and here he comes. Here, look. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay, bud. He's a little bit skittish, as you can see.
So we're growing a herd with a bull, and went on Craigslist the same day, you know, just to check around, and found a deal that I could not pass up. This guy was selling, they're registerable, I don't care if they're registered or not for what we're doing here, but he was selling 5 registerable Longhorns, 3 heifers and 2 steers. So I said, we need to jump on that, because they're good looking cows, and you couldn't beat the price you're selling them at.
The day that we got Jordan was on looking around and found a deal that you just can't pass up, and we ended up getting 5 more. Yeah, 5 more. We got 3 heifers and 2 steers, and we're gonna introduce you to them right now. So this is Jordan, our bull that we just talked about. That right there, the very vocal one. Yes, her name is Ruby. Then right here, you got her sister, Scarlet. We got one of our steers right here. I think we're gonna name him Rusty, because he's pretty cool looking. Back there, this girl is gonna be named Strawberry. She's the sweetest one of the bunch. I was rubbing all up on her earlier. And back here, I wish he was still a bull. I really do wish he was still a bull. Look at him. Check this guy out. This guy's name is Tiger. Why? Because he's got the brindle, and he looks like a tiger.
It was at this point that we started working in our 100-year-old barn. You see, what the plan is, long-term plan, because things get messed up because of this craziness, is to turn the barn, our 100-year-old barn, renovate and turn into an event center. Now, we started working on it, just doing some demo. Now it works out pretty well because I have a lot of lumber that I can work with, especially with the prices the way they are. So kind of putting the brakes on, you know, renovating it until things level out and, you know, we can hold events without, you know, it's just ugh.
Here, let's check it out. As you can see, we have seriously opened this place up and it looks huge now. We've been taking out all the cross beams that were going from here to there, and there is one on every single one of these posts. So needless to say, that was a lot of work.
Our herd of cows is up to about 13 head, and moving them every day, you know, for the past at least 6 months at this point, has really improved our pastures. We've gotten the hang of it, being able to move them, and this is the results of moving them every day.
Today, I'm going to show you exactly why rotational grazing, mob grazing, whatever you want to call it, moving the cows every day works. Check it out. The girls and the boys now, keep forgetting that I have 2 steers and a bull. They're over here on this paddock now. Now, this is this field here is probably our best field. Why? Let me show you something. This is what they're going to be moving into tomorrow. I want you to see this. Look at this. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, it's actually hard to walk through, and this is almost October. This is one of the last weeks in October, and look, you can't see my boot. Look, this is nuts. This is why the land resting, moving the cows every day works so well. Look at how much grass there is. Look at how much grass there is. This is insane.
It's actually really easy to move the cows once they're trained. My dad came out for a second visit, and watch him do it.
So now bring the string over and let it down and do the famous cow call. Can you do it? Yeah. Come on, let's see.
Do I walk it that way?
Yeah, just walk it that way and then call them across.
Come cows.
Come on.
Come cows. Come cows.
They know what to do anyways.
We were getting really comfortable with the animals that we had here, and the cows moving, no problem. It was at this point that I said, you know what, we might be able to explore other enterprises, being able to add other animals. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is adding alpacas. Why? Because they're pretty cool, you know. Some people like to call them donkey poodles, like on the Arms family homestead. But their fiber is an actually pretty lucrative business. But with alpacas, they're still small enough to where they're susceptible to coyotes and maybe a bobcat or something like that. So we had to get something to protect them. This is what we got.
As you can see, we're out here by the barn, in the corrals, so that usually means something. That usually means that we got another cow. But today, it's not a cow. We got something very different. We got 2 llamas. They're still pretty young. The one on the white one is, I believe, 8 months old. The people we got them from said, and the other one is a year older. So he's about 18 months, I would say. And they're buddies. They're staying away from me. They're still skittish because, you know, just a new place. They were taken away from their parents. And, you know, they just got to settle down.
Elvis and Littlefoot, our llamas, I thought they were going to be a lot harder than they were to, you know, move every day, to fall into our system. I was not sure. I was kind of worried. But these llamas are smart, man. They get the whole moving every day faster, better than the cows do. I say, you know, I do my famous cow call. Hey, cows, come on, cows. And guess what? As soon as I say, hey, cows, the llama's heads perk up, and they're running towards the gate where I'm going to move them next to.
Hey, cows! Come on, cows, come on! Come on, 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 cows! Come on, cows, come on. Come on, cows. 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 Come on, cows, come on. Come on, cows, come on. Come on, cows. 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 Good cows, good llamas.
The llamas are great, but they need a little bit more infrastructure. One wire at about belt buckle high won't hold them in like it will a cow. They need a second wire that's a little bit lower. I keep it right around where my knees are. That's kind of how I judged it, to where they can't really crawl under. So I didn't really want to be running 2 wires back and forth every time that we need to move our herd of llamas and cows now. So I wanted to come up with something a little bit different. I started looking at different options, and this one revealed itself to me, and this is why we've done this all over our farm. You're gonna see 3 wires. We're actually down to 2 now. It's just the best, the most time-saving, the less stress. The cows, the llamas get it. This way of moving the cows every day, by far one of the best things, probably other than the lane, the best thing that we've done on the farm.
And the other pivot point on the gate is a T-post. Now, this whole setup is so easy to build. Takes a T-post here on this end, a T-post all the way on the other end, and then some very special fence posts. And these are the fence posts that I want to talk to you about, because these are working out just amazingly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 paddocks set up with using these fence posts here. And these aren't even fence posts. What these are is these are the things that people use up north, to where, like, you know, they have to keep they want to line their driveway when it snows, so they know where, you know, to drive and not drive on the grass or whatever. They're just fiberglass, you know, like stakes.
In that lane I've been talking about, I didn't want to just leave it as a, you know, a blank lane, because it's just, you want to make every part of the land productive. You know, we pay for it, all of it. We pay taxes on all of it. We want to be as productive as possible. Now, down in that same lane, I had this idea of starting a permaculture orchard in it. And my whole thing is aim small, miss small with everything that we do. You know, we started with 3 cows, we started with 2 llamas, we started with 100 chickens. That might sound like a lot, it's not a lot. So we started our permaculture orchard with just a couple trees.
Today is a very, very exciting day. We are planting the first tree of our soon-to-be permaculture orchard.
Then in the beginning of December, I got some pretty bad news. My dad called me up and told me my grandma wasn't doing too good, and about a week later, she passed away, and it was just right before her 86th birthday. And then the day that she passed away, my mom called me and told me that my aunt, who is basically a grandma to me, she's my grandma's twin sister, she was going to the hospital and she wasn't doing too well. So, you know, the 1-2 punch, that hurt pretty bad. And my aunt, she ended up getting out of the hospital for a second. Then she went back in, and then she didn't come back out either. So in December, that was a really tough month. With my grandma, there wasn't a funeral because everybody's really spread out, and with everything going on, it was, you know, just really hard to have. But with my aunt, because everybody lives a little bit closer on my mom's side, there was a service, and I was able to fly back to California. I literally left at we left the house here at 3:30 in the morning, then we got back to the house at 12 o'clock at night, and maybe even later, earlier the next day. I was gone about 24 hours, and I did a video about that for each of them. and I said that my aunt, I gave my aunt some boxing gloves because she beat cancer. She went through cancer twice, and she beat it twice. The second time around, I gave her these boxing gloves here, and I wrote the ED. You know, kicked cancer's butt when she started her treatment. And then I wrote the ED when she won. And you know, that was a couple years ago now, and it's just nice to, I don't know, like, it's nice to have something like this here. And my dad's gonna be sending me some stuff from my grandma, hopefully soonish, or when he comes out next, I'll just bring it with him. But I don't know, that was a really tough month, and you know, I miss both of them still. And just now we're about into winter time, and we're a little bit through winter, and one day we wake up and there's this white stuff on the ground. It's our first East Texas snow. We were like, oh wow, this is cool. And when I went out there, you know, working with the cows and everything, I went, okay, you know, it's just a dusting. It's still pretty cold out there. Kind of wanted to get used to it because this might happen regularly. Little did we know what was to come, but here's our first snow.
So what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Yesterday afternoon and last night, we had this really like weird, like fluffy stuff fall from the sky. I don't know if the sky's broken or something, but like it left like this white stuff all over the ground. I've never seen this before in my life. You know, this is really weird. Like it's cold, it's icy. Just makes you kind of want to build a snowman. Look at some of our cars, they're covered in this white stuff.
Part of keeping cows in the wintertime is having to feed them hay. Why? Because the grass is just not going to grow in the wintertime nearly as fast as it does in the springtime. Now, will it still grow? Maybe a little bit. For the most part, no. Now, with the management that we didn't start feeding hay until January 17th. That, I think, is pretty good because most ranchers start feeding hay in, mid-October, early November, and go through, maybe mid-March to early April. Now, we had the big round bales. I don't know if I'm going to do that again because they're pretty hard to move around, especially no tractor. Don't necessarily want a tractor. Still don't want a tractor. Kind of tempting to get a tractor, still don't want a tractor. But instead of putting the hay in a hay ring, you know, and the cows go and muck up the whole area and they make it all muddy, we want to unroll it. Why? Using Greg Judy's method, you know, by unrolling the hay, you know, none of the smaller cows can get, you know, trapped in the hay ring or get crushed. What it also does is that it adds carbon to the soil and can help build more soil up. Also, the cows can actually utilize what it's shown to be a little bit more of it rather than having, you know, maybe 8 to 12 inches of hay on the bottom that they're just not going to touch because they've stomped on it and everything. It might save a little bit of hay, but for what it does for the ground, I can guarantee you in springtime, we're already starting to see it a little bit. That area where we unroll the hay, it's going to be a little bit greener. But the problem is no tractor, no Greg Judy bale unroller just yet. So this is how we had to move hay bales. I actually kind of figured out a way to move them around with my truck. Not the greatest way, makes it a little bit hard, takes a lot of time to do, but it kind of works. I'm pretty glad that I figured out a way to move hay around because my neighbor does help me. He's really awesome at that. Thank you very much, Woody. But I also want to do stuff for myself. And we had, we heard some rumblings about a week before that we're going to get, it's going to get a little bit cold. And then as the week progressed, that low for those couple days started dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And next thing you know, we're in snowpocalypse, Snowvid 21, just craziness. That was a pretty rough week. The water lines froze, couldn't, you know, move water around like I needed to, so I ended up hauling buckets in the middle of the snow. That wasn't too fun.
Okay, got the water in their water trough, and it should last them until probably tomorrow. I'll probably come out and check on them again today. But I gotta tell you something, this sucks. This is Texas, this is not Minnesota, this is not Montana, this is not, you know, Maine. Why am I saying all the M states? Michigan, any of those. Oh my gosh. This is, we got a foot of snow, and this is round 2. We're approaching 2 inches. I mean, I'm sinking down, look, pretty far to where, and I'm not even hitting the ground actually. I'm still on top of like the hard snow. It's just nuts. Everybody's doing okay. Let's go check on them. Hey baby, you all right? Here. I don't want a snow cow. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Let's clear some of this ice off you. Good girl, Ellie.
It ended up getting down to -2 here at one point with a feels like of -11. Now, I know a lot of people lost power, water, a whole bunch of just craziness. We were pretty fortunate, and I was crossing my fingers because I scheduled something during this time. I figured, oh, it's going to be a little bit cold, so, you know, I want to stay in a little bit more. I scheduled something without thinking that we might lose power, and I was like, okay, come on, this has got to work. Come on, power, stay on, stay on. It did stay on, and right in the middle of that snowpocalypse, we had something really cool happen. Joel Salatin actually came onto our channel, and we did an interview with him.
So what's up, everybody? Today we have a very, very special interview here with Joel Salatin.
And the reason why Joel came on is because I emailed him and I said, what we're doing is we're starting a database of regenerative farms where somebody can go on to our website, type in their zip code, type in their address, click on whatever they want, whether it be pastured chicken, fruits, vegetables, pastured pork, pastured beef, raw and filtered honey. They can go click on the different checkboxes, press search, and what it'll do is connect consumers to producers and be able to bridge that, you know, urban to rural, you know, gap that, and that's the reason why we need supermarkets. And the stuff in the supermarkets, it just doesn't live up to what it's supposed to be. It's not real food. So we launched that, and we're actively building that database. And we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna be reaching out to potential customers all over the place and directing them to other people's farms. Not our farm, to other people's. Now, if, you know, there's nobody in that area, they can find a farm that will ship. Polyface ships. We're thinking about doing it on, you know, grass-fed beef, maybe some pasture chicken level. We'll see. A lot of stuff's up in the air with that right now. But the main focus is try and keep the food as local as possible. And that brings us to now. And that brings us to just about now, this past week, to where we had to go help our neighbor pull a calf, which was definitely an interesting experience. Too bad we lost the calf. That was sad. And now we're brooding our own duck eggs, or should I say duck egg. If you haven't seen that video yet, go check that one out. That's the last one that we put up. It's been a crazy year. We haven't been able to, you know, get to know the community around here as well as we'd like to because obvious reasons. Yeah. But the people that we did get to meet, I mean, the people of East Texas have been absolutely amazing. You know, we couldn't have really made it through this year without the help from a lot of them, especially our neighbors across the street, Woody and Shirley, who's, you know, really helped move the hay around, give me a lot of advice. I mean, they've been a big, tremendous help when we got engaged. They came over with champagne bottle and flowers. It was just, they're really amazing people. You know, we got to meet, you know, through YouTube, some other people like Tanner and Bailey over at Fuller Life, Texas, with their two little babies and their newborn.
We decided to get out of the military a year ago.
Yeah, so cute.
We had the 5M family homestead come visit, Tobin, Shanna, and the rest of the gang. That was really awesome.
The whole gang's here. We got Tobin, Reed, Sarah, right? And Shanna back there with Nicole.
Hi,
so
guys.
we're gonna do a little something. We're gonna move the cows today like every day, but we're gonna have help doing it. And Easton's the alfalfa pellet man today, so he'll help me move them, all right?
And, you know, through YouTube, it's been pretty cool to, you know, get to maybe kind of meet you guys through the comments, and that's why we really like the comment section. It's really really kind of cool. I never commented on other people's videos until we started making our own, because you do kind of build a community. So there's a couple people that I want to give a little bit of a shout out to that really watch all of our videos, comment on all of them. Arkansas Prepper, Army Mobility Officer. These are just some of the usernames that, you know, you come out to be that people come up with. TS, really smart guy. He's given me a lot of advice on, you know, different pasture rotations. Cindy Brown, she watches all of our videos. Junior, let me see if I get this right. Junior Volata, I don't know who you are. Come visit. You know who I'm talking about. Come out here and visit. Boomer's Bees. We just won the Polyface Designs, you know, giveaway that we did. So again, come out for a visit. We might be doing some farm tours in the future when, you know, stuff kind of settles down. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be
Get
awesome.
to meet some of you guys. So we have a lot of stuff planned for 2021. Obviously, we're already in the middle of the year, but this second year on the farm, a lot of big plans. You know, we have the ducks in the incubator right now, or duck, like I said. We have more eggs on the way, duck and goose eggs. So, you know, Nicole's not too happy about the geese, but I think she'll warm up to them because they'll be sweet and they'll be nice and not gonna, you know, yell at her and chase her around. By the way, we just bought 7 new cows. Or actually steers. They're steers. And they're coming like this weekend. So didn't put them in the video here, but pretty cool. But this has been an incredible year. I just want to say thank you to everybody that we've got to meet or kind of gotten to meet digitally. And it's just been pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for your support and just for supporting his channel and the journey and just everything.
2,700 and something subscribers later. I don't want to look at the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. I care about the quality over quantity, right? So small channel, but I think we have one of the best subscriber bases, don't you think?
Absolutely.
So thank you guys very much. Year 2, gonna be scaling stuff up a little bit. Really excited. Cows are coming. More cows are coming. Shh. That's gonna probably be one of the next few videos, and we have some more. We're gonna be doing a little bit more with the podcast. We have some really cool guests coming up, lined up, and hope you guys stick with us. All right, until next time, which should be in a couple days. See ya.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.